Good afternoon. I'm Kathryne Davis with Eagle News.
Thanks, Mia. Sometimes the hardest part of researching history, NASA's Orion spacecraft is supposed to splash down. Interestingly enough, staff here.
Visage hosted its latest fashion show with a theme inspired by Wonderland.
We have a new sports segment this week, and Maggie Sell has the week's wrap. Here at the Williams Center is where I actually filmed my favorite. Students preparing for an interview may not have the time nor the money. As graduation and hiring season approach, Georgia Southern students are being provided with free professional attire from the Suited for Success Career Closet. Staff say the goal of the closet is to ensure students feel confident going into interviews for internships or meetings at the career fair. With the cost of clothing rising even in discount stores, students are struggling to fit professional attire into their budget.
They get to keep the clothes, right? So this is not something that they borrow. So they can come and they can get pants and a blazer and shirt and skirts, things like that for interviews, and then they get to keep it and they can just use it for the next interview as well.
Last year, over 800 students benefited from this program. The Statesboro Closet is located on the first floor of the Williams Center and is available to all students and alumni. Interestingly enough, staff here say that the most in-demand clothing piece for both men and women are blazers in the career closet. Students are needing this piece most often for internships and interviews at the career fair. Students are allowed to come once a semester and choose up to 5 different clothing pieces to take home. Most of the clothing currently comes from community donations.
I know sometimes I can spend over $100 on work, pants, and shirts, so it's nice if I'm not going to wear them again, being able to donate them to others so that they don't have to spend that kind of money also.
While grateful for the donations, staff say that many of the clothes are too big or older in style than what a typical student may wear. The program is planning a new model for the closet that will allow the office to purchase new clothing in a wide range of sizes. Following the evacuation of thousands of bees, local melodophiles explored floral displays and learned about the valuable role pollinators play in our lives at a flower show on Saturday. Over 100 people viewed the displays, which featured the work of garden club members, students, and Statesboro locals.
I guess the goal is that to get all people involved in garden and community and to show what our members can do.
The show featured winning petite and larger designs where people had decorated the pots for the flowers or the entire arrangement.
Our show usually follows a theme each time, and this year it was buzzing along the Blue Mile, so you should see lots of bugs and bees and hummingbirds and the Blue Mile somewhere.
All display categories had a saying related to bees, tying them back to the theme of the show. The education room focused solely on informing the community about pollinators. The flower show is currently recognizing National Garden Week. Experts here are saying that the decline in pollinators could have a severe impact on our food and environment, as they are responsible for over 75% of flowering plants. Habitat loss, pesticide use, and climate change are the leading causes of the decline in pollinators. More than 50 species have been declared threatened or endangered. A University of Georgia study warns this decline could impact biodiversity, food availability, and ecosystem stability. Organizers hope these flower shows can spotlight how climate change and human behavior are affecting these species.
Coming up on Eagle News, tax season is here, but so is free local help from students and faculty. Learn about the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program and how to get involved. Changes could be coming to Georgia highways. We'll explain the proposed increase to minimum speed limits. And
Black history is all around us. I'm John Wright, and I'm exploring the streets of Savannah, learning about its rich Black history. Coming up on Eagle News.
these stories and more starting now on Eagle News.
I'm Maggie Sale with Eagle News. Today is Thursday, February 26, 2026.
Angelo Pitts reporting live from Sanford Hall at Georgia Southern University.
The good news for the Trump administration is the president's approval rating ticked up to 40% just before the Tuesday State of the Union.
The not so good news is a majority of Americans, more than 60%, think he's becoming more erratic with age. Those were the findings from a Reuters Ipsos survey on Tuesday.
His supporters believe he said all the right things during the annual address, and of course, his critics say he further polarized our nation.
The president was hard selling the economy on Tuesday night.
The roaring economy is roaring like never before.
He spotlighted people he said represented the success of his first year. A woman who claimed to save 75% on her fertility drugs by using his new RX website. He featured others for the child tax credit and tax breaks on tips. But last week, the Supreme Court struck down Trump's tariff as illegal, throwing a wrench into his economy plan. And on Tuesday night, those same justices sat in front of Trump where he made eye contact and scolded them for upholding the law.
And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling.
Two of the several issues dogging the Trump administration were the Epstein files that have not been released more than 2 months after Trump signed a law enforcing their release. And of course, the killing of 2 American citizens by ICE agents last month in Minneapolis. Trump mentioned neither of these on Tuesday.
The Democrats' choice to overthrow Trump's claims went to the recently seated governor of Virginia, whose main focus on the high cost of living and, of course, immigration.
They have sent children, little boy in a blue bunny hat, children to far-off detention centers, and they have killed American citizens in our streets. And they have done it all with their faces masked from accountability.
Trump also paid tribute to a 100-year-old World War II veteran and celebrated the Team USA win against Canada in men's hockey.
The President's State of Union will also be remembered as the longest annual address to Congress, clocking in at 1 hour and 47 minutes. He beat his old record from last year.
New legislation aimed at improving student absenteeism in Georgia schools has been introduced. Senate Bill 513, which is also known as the Everyday Accounts Act, targets students with excessive unexcused absences. The proposal would include intervention plans and restrictions on extracurriculars and eligibility for driving permits. Lawmakers say that keeping students in class is key to future workforce readiness.
As Black History Month comes to an end, students are making sure the conversation does not stop here.
Streets That Speak Black History tour guided participants through historical sites and landmarks celebrating African American heritage.
Our John Wright was there to capture it. John?
It was a somber topic, but a lively tour, one I embarked on with 15 students this weekend to learn how Black history continues to shape Savannah to this day. Students took to the streets of Savannah Friday afternoon, walking 5 blocks of Savannah's finest historical Black landmarks, exploring the forgotten history below our feet. The Streets That Speak tour invited participants to dive deeper into the history of Savannah, learning about the influential African American leaders who helped fight for freedom, civil rights, and a greater future for all African Americans.
So we at Georgia Southern, within the Office of Student Activities, we want to give our students opportunities to embrace different cultures here on our campus.
The tour started at the First African Baptist Church and then went to Franklin Square, where we learned about the Haitian Volunteer Army who fought alongside the Americans during the 1779 Siege of Savannah. We then ventured through St. Julian Street, learning about City Market's complex history. Once home to slave trading operations like Bryan's Slave Mart, later transformed to the Bryan Free School for freedmen after the Civil War. Recent federal policies have caused debate over preserving Black history, reiterating the importance of tours like this. With the Trump administration threatening the preservation of Black history, now more than ever, it is imperative to preserve and appreciate our Black history.
And so when we see these policies like that coming about, it's still to continue to have us be divided and not understand the fullness of the story. We will no longer be Americans. To be patriotic is for you to know the entire American story.
By the end of the 5-block tour, the 15 participants visited multiple historical monuments, churches, and landmarks, walking away with a deeper understanding of Savannah's Black history. The tour was organized through the Office of Student Activities, which purchased the experience through Dr. Amir Touré, a cultural historian, community leader, and Gale Geechee scholar who leads the tour year-round.
The Counseling Center at Georgia Southern is teaming up with Henderson Library to help students take a break and focus on self-care. The weekly self-care clinic is held every Tuesday from 1:15 to 2:45 on the second floor of Henderson Library. Each week features a new activity designed to help the students calm their minds and take a moment for themselves. The Counseling Center says the goal is to create an open space where students can pause, connect, and practice self-care. The Georgia Department of Health confirmed another case of the measles in the state for the Bryan County. The case has involved an unvaccinated resident and the second reported in the state this year. Measles can cause a reddish, rash, and fever and is easily spread through the surface of exposure. It is highly contagious. Health officials are still monitoring potential exposures and are encouraging residents to consult with their physicians for any questions about the vaccine.
Actor Robert Kathryne is dead. Family members say he committed suicide after suffering 20 years with bipolar disorder. Kathryne was the icon in the 1984 hit movie Revenge of the Nerds, and later he starred in Lizzie McGuire on television. He came from an acting family with his father John in the 1930s and 40s to his brothers David and Keith in the 1970s to the early 2000s. His family released a statement saying they hope his death sheds light on the stigma of mental illness. David Kathryne was 71 years old. With tax season in full swing, there's free assistance available right here in Statesboro. Every Monday from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., the School of Accountancy at Georgia Southern partners with IRS to bring the volunteer income tax assistance program to the community. The VITA program provides free tax preparation services from IRS certified students and faculty with the Parker College of Business. Once taxpayers submit all required documents, a VITA certified volunteer will conduct an interview to confirm that the tax return can be accurately prepared and completed.
A bill moving through the Georgia House could change traffic flow for drivers across the state. Proposed in March of 2025, House Bill 809 could raise the minimum speed limit on Georgia highways from 40 miles an hour to 50. On Friday, the Motor House Committee approved the measure, sending it to the full House for consideration. The Statesboro Police Department shared how slow drivers affect the flow of traffic on a local level.
Traffic, again, if you're driving well below the posted speed limit on a city street and you cause a risk to other traffic motorists because you're going so slow, you could be in violation of Georgia traffic law.
The nearest major highway to Statesboro is I-16, a route many students and commuters travel every single day. According to State Representative John Carson, the proposed bill is designed to limit the number of rear-end collisions on highways across the state. Still to come on Eagle News, a new historical marker dedicated to honoring the legacy of the Van Berg Sanitarium has come unveiled.
An update on the construction that continues to move forward at Georgia Southern Baseball Stadium. And
Statesboro is putting down new roofs for Arbor Day. I'm Layla Espinosa, coming up on Eagle News.